Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, July 20th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of quick clarification points. The price you see over here, it will be changing around as I talk about each of these stocks, along with the candlesticks here, as they're called. That's because the market is still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So again, as these are called candlesticks, each one of these represents 30 minutes worth of price action. So first one here, ticker symbol XELA. And a very big turnaround here, although this is not what makes the chart relatively tricky to talk about because it's really just a matter of perspective. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought, up around this area and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then yeah, from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad. Now, if you care about from the big picture point of view, I understand that the price has definitely had a big pullback today. But if you look at where the potential lows are here, and then you start to combine that with the previous lows, then if you envision each one of those as stair steps, well, what do you have? Well, from the big picture point of view, you still do have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So that's where it becomes a matter of, well, I don't know if this is a bad or good looking chart because it really just depends on your viewpoint. Although as I talk, this thing is just absolutely collapsing here during the last 30 minutes, which is, again, is why I like to do these videos when the market is still open. So let me throw this out here just because I'll move on. But if you're watching this video and then you're watching XELA and the price ends up closing down around the 11-cent mark, or even worse yet, down below these moving averages, the purple line being the 50 period, the pink line doing the 200 period, that would imply that even from the bigger picture now, things are looking really, really rough. So as of now, like I said, as I talk right now, the price has not done that. So that's why I'm still giving the benefit of the doubt to the big picture time frame. But yeah, if this thing continues on down and breaks down through those areas, then that would change the dynamic that much more, even from when I'm talking about it right now. Next, APLD, and just a beautiful chart here on this one. And I think the best way to illustrate just the nice move today is, let's change that up. There we go. Is to get a nice trend line in place here. So let me move that upwards like that. And let me also change just green to represent more so the bullish attribute of things. But you can see just today had some pullbacks, but each of those pullbacks putting those higher lows and just higher highs and higher lows. And then also this, oh wow, yeah, just that trend line up there right there is doing a fantastic job of forecasting where these areas are at. So let's change that back to red for resistance. So really, a nice upwards channel is the best way to, visualize this one right now. Again, putting in higher highs, pulling back, higher highs, pulling back, but putting in those higher lows. Once again, higher highs. So if it does pull back, as long as it stays above that trend line right there, then that does imply that once again, there would be a higher low put into place. And from a trend building standpoint, that's what it's all about. So as far as just kind of a straightforward approach, upwards channel pattern here, very straightforward. So watch watch both those areas. And like as of right now, it's looking like it might want to pull back some. But again, to repeat myself, it's already pulled back a couple times before. So as long as those pullbacks do put in those higher bases, that's by far what matters and is most important. Next, SIDU, and I like this one for one reason. Well, not just this one reason, but this has a large influence on it, and that is the ability to draw that line right up there at $4.10. And let me be very clear, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that, that drawing that line up there was some sort of great discovery or anything like that. In fact, the exact opposite. I assure you a lot of people are watching that level. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same level and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while there are no guarantees, my point here is that, is it valid? Is it rational to think that if the price comes back up to that area and then gets the break up through it, that break in and of itself could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure? That is absolutely a valid thought process to have. So if you're some sort of breakout player, then definitely keep an eye on that $4.10 mark. If you like to play pullbacks, then an interesting level right here at, let's see, what is that? $3, and we'll call it 62 cents. So again, I'll change that to green to represent more so the bullish area of the chart here. And then just to keep this a little bit easier to see from a pattern perspective, we'll keep it one color. So resistance, support, big upwards move there. And in this situation, a nice bull flag pattern. Next one, MARA, did this one in yesterday's watch list video and talked about how that pullback there was a nice little potential opportunity since you didn't have to worry about chasing the price or anything like that, and got just a beautiful breakout here. So I mean, this thing is really in beast mode right now. To think that just Last week, it closed down here around the $8 mark, and now it's up over $12 in a matter of a couple of days. So I'm sure there's some shorts out there that are feeling some pressure and probably getting forced to cover. So I'm not going to say like an epic short squeeze, but yeah, I'm sure there is a dynamic of short squeeze right now that is occurring. So let's get some levels here mapped out as we head into Wednesday. So newest area that I'd keep an eye on from a support standpoint, for those of you that like to play pullbacks, right there at $11.50. So keep an eye on that. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, I mean, for this one, really the best, we might have to go to another time frame here since it's been so long. Nope, not quite. Almost. I realize it's getting harder to see, but definitely a good problem to have. Let's see. Next key area of resistance. Yeah, right here. What is that? At $14, which is going all the way back till back in May. So we were talking about multiple months ago, the last time, that level was relevant. But overall, as long as this thing keeps on putting those higher highs and higher lows, that's what matters. So again, $14, next key overarching level of resistance, $11.50, that near-term level of support. Next one, AMC, and like what did I talk about? XELA at the beginning. Really just depends on your viewpoint in terms of is this a bad or good-looking chart? Because yes, if you are a day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes, the chart looks really, really bad for you. However, if you care about the bigger picture, yes, this was a pretty nasty pullback today. But if you look at this support that I talked about previously as a set of lows, then you look at this set of lows, then you look at this set of lows, which you can't see behind my ugly mug. But then if you envision these as stair steps, the stair steps are still progressing in the upwards direction. So once again, from a presentation standpoint, difficult to say is this a bad or good looking chart because I don't know your strategy going in, but keep those dynamics in mind. As far as areas of resistance are concerned, an interesting trend line here that I think a lot of people will be watching now moving forward, going to be right there at that location. So keep an eye on that, which puts resistance right up around the $17 mark, give or take. But overall, like I said, assuming you do care about the big picture of things, despite the big pullback today, overall the price is still in an uptrend. Real quickly, I want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live training that I'm offering here in just a few days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen, you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can click on. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying what you've seen, you want to learn more, certainly get signed up for the free training. Next one here, LQDA, and this thing just absolutely exploded this afternoon. Huge volume. Big price movement, and got the breakout right here of that former resistance trend line right there. So yeah, the breakout has already started, but keep in mind the idea of a watch list. The watch list is to find unique situations, to find interesting situations, and not to randomly rush out and buy them, but to watch them, to see how they continue to behave, to see if they eventually do behave in a way that fits your personal trading strategy. And that's what's going on here. Is yes, if you're a breakout player, then as of now, that opportunity has already passed. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this is a super interesting situation where you have the massive volume, you have the massive price movement. So really the question becomes moving forward is this the start of something bigger? Are people going to be looking back on this one on Friday and saying, wow, look at this thing. Remember when it was below $6? Now it's up over $10. Now, of course, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but my point here is that's the philosophy of a watch list, to find unique, to find interesting situations, and then begin to observe them. And in my mind, I would definitely qualify this as a unique and interesting situation. So again, yes, to be fair, the breakout did already occur, but if this is just the start of a much bigger breakout, then it's worth at least keeping an eye on so you don't miss it. Next one, Tesla, TSLA, and key level to watch here moving forward, going to be right here at $41, which you can see here has formed quite the track record. So there's going to be a bunch of people watching that level, and it goes back to the whole talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies and no guarantees, but certainly valid to think that if the price can work its way back up to 741 and get a break up through it, that could certainly create some good, solid upside buying pressure. And then if that level is broken, next key level after that going to be right up there at basically that $750 mark. So 741, 750, two key levels of resistance here moving forward. As far as those levels of support, again, just to build some overall context, that there's been several pullbacks, but these pullbacks continue to put in these higher lows, which is always good to see. So if there is any sort of deeper pullback, though, you have the 50 period moving average valued at, we'll call it 724. You have the 200 period moving average valid at, we'll call it 708. So keep an eye on those dynamics. But in my opinion, the most interesting dynamic here is, can the price get the break of that 741 mark? And if so, does that, give it enough momentum to get up to 750 and then push up through it? Let's see how the next couple of days play out, as I know there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff going on with Tesla. Next one here, RIOT, and very nice trend over the past couple of days. And what I'm very curious about as the price approaches is this resistance trend line right there. And it looks like we might watch it, be able to watch it do a battle with the trend line. So yeah, again, this is why I like to do these videos when the market's still open. But you can see here, by using this point and that point, did a fantastic job of forecasting that resistance point and that resistance right there. And as I speak, check it out. That's right where it's getting bouncing from. Now, I'm not saying that the price can't break through that level. I'm just saying it makes sense right now that as we witness it, why it's struggling right there at that level. Because yes, that is a trend line. But to be fair, the market closes here in about 5 minutes. So by the time you watch this video, you're going to know what happens. So, the question becomes, well, where did the price close relative to, we'll call it right around the 707 mark? If it closed above 707, at that point, you have a breakout on your hand. So it becomes the question of, is this the start of a much bigger breakout? If the price is still down below that level, then the question is, okay, is this thing going to break out? But either way, they're both interesting. They're both unique situations, which, as I've said, is the point. And look at that. Now it's, seeing that upper shadow. So it has gotten rejected from that trend line as of right now. So a good example there on the power of charts. So a quick real life plug. Get signed up for that free training. You just literally saw the power of charts play out right before your very eyes. But again, walk yourself through those questions based on how this thing ultimately does close out. If there are any sort of pullbacks, then near-term level of support right there at $6.70. But yes, in my opinion, at least, I think most people are going to be watching that trend line. So let's see if the bulls can get the breakout or not. Next one here, AMD, and just absolutely classic follow through. This will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the video from Monday, but broke out, came back down here, back tested the previous resistance, and then up it went to the resistance and is now broken through there. So, I mean, if you're writing some sort of technical analysis book, I mean, you could throw this chart right in here. I mean, a lot of good things going on here, but let's now focus on the near-term action and get some things updated. So as far as the newest area of support, what I would call the ideal level, when you say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? That would be if $84.50 can hold strong, so keep an eye on that. For more of the overarching standpoint, watch that purple line there. As I've said, the 50 period moving average. Keyword being moving, so as time goes by, that line's just going to keep moving itself higher and higher. So from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price does stay above that purple line, then the bulls are in overall control of the chart. In terms of next potential battlegrounds, next key level of resistance going to be right up here at $87.50. So keep a close eye on that. But overall, you got to like these higher lows that have been getting put into place. And as I've said before, as long as those higher lows keep getting higher and higher, that's what matters the most. Next one here, TQQQ, which is a way of, if you think the NASDAQ is going to go higher, then this is a leverage ETF, and it's a way for you to participate in that for a much lower price. And what's very interesting about this, and I know I talked about this one yesterday, and once again, going to the talking point of self-fulfilling prophecies, I assure you, my ability to draw that line right there is not some sort of special talent. In fact, let me get this squeezed out some more, just so you can see there is quite a bit of a history right here at that level. But you can see that, generally speaking, right around 28.50, 28.75, knock down the price, knock down the price, knock down the price. And once again, it's hovering right around that area. So every breakout player, their brother's uncle, is going to be watching, wondering, rightfully so, is this finally the time where the price gets the breakout? Maybe it's not. Maybe it gets rejected again. That's always a possibility. But that is the idea of a watch list, to locate those unique, interesting situations and then watch and see how they behave. So, I mean, a very, very historic line right here. The price is knocking on the door. So does it get the break, which, logically would, doesn't guarantee anything, but makes it plausible to think that there could be that much more momentum. Yeah, so definitely keep an eye right around this 28.50 mark for Wednesday. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free training. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, July 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these, please do two things for me. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment below. Tell me what you traded today. Say hi, give me a smiley face emoji. But those two things communicate to me that you're enjoying. As long as I know people are enjoying and finding these helpful, then I will continue to put in the required time and effort to get this content out to you. So again, get signed up for that free training. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below. Everybody, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one.